Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, I'm Shanice and welcome to my channel. So this week I have finished another book for you guys, and I'm going to do a book review off of this awesome book. So if you don't know this book, I'm going to review the second book of this series, the Darkest Mind series, which is called Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. And it was an awesome book, so I really want to get in the nitty gritty of what the book is and the tea, what's all about. Is it good? Is it bad? So if you're ready to hear about this book, sit there and relax and continue hearing me talk and ramble. But before I continue on, go down below and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and like this video and share this video out so other people can see what this book is about and how good this book is if you haven't read it already. And so yeah, let's get this video started. So the book Never Fade is the second book of like the Darkest Mind series. I didn't even know about this series, about this book in general, until after the fact I watched the Darkest Mind movie. If you haven't watched that, you can grab it at Redbox and watch it because it's a really cool movie, and I got really hooked and wanted to know what happened after this story. I looked it up and this series was in books, so I want to know what else happened after the movie. So I had to pick up this next book up. So I'm going to tell you like the order of the series, that I think how it goes. So it goes from the Darkest Minds, and then Never Fade that I read is the second book. The third book is called In the Afterlight, and the fourth book is called Through the Dark. So that's kind of the series, and I think as I was looking on her website, I think there's a new book out that you can pre-order, and it follows like one of the characters, the little kid character. Have you seen the movie Zoo? And which that book is called The Darkest Legacy. So back to the book I'm reviewing today. So it's called Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, my bad on me that since I seen the movie, I got the gist of what the story was. I didn't read the first book personally. So when I started the second book, Never Fade, it started like it was just started from where it was left off in the first book. You know how sometimes the movies and the books definitely not go aligned together, just like the Divergent series and, you know, different movies, it doesn't line up with the book. So when I started off reading Never Fade, it was kind of like I was like lost and like what was happening. Like I knew what happened in the movie and how it ended and everything, but in the book it might have been different. So that was my part. So it was kind of a little bit harder for me personally to get started with this book, but I kept at it and kept reading, and it becoming makes more sense and where things aligned with what I was reading. So that was just my bad. But if you read the first book, and it should be a quick easy transition to the first and the second and the third, blah blah blah. So that was my little bad. But once I got through the first little section in the itty gritty groove of the reading this book, I began reading and loving this book. This book was a lot of action in this book. A lot of stuff was going on. It continued on what Liam and Ruby and Chubbs and it just continues their story, because I really want to know what happened. And like at the end of the movie, if you've seen that, it's like she did like erase Liam's mind, but you can tell that he still kind of knew her, but doesn't know how he knew her, even though he didn't. So so I really wanted to know what happened to them in this next story, because it couldn't be the end of their relationship of them together. So the book was really good. It flowed right. It was an easy read, and it just flowed right together. It was like action, a lot was going on, but it was like a slow pace of action that was going on. Just like the whole gist of the storyline is really good. The kids have powers, and it's different from the other ones. They're orange, red, green, yellow, and blue, and each kid have different little powers. I just like the idea of that. Like in these kind of type of stories, the kids always has like the special power, and like the grown-ups and all are scared because of these kids have special powers. Like they should embrace the powers and stuff like that, even though it's kind of odd, like where does these powers come from and where did it even start and how it happened. But you shouldn't just like ship off these kids to these camps, and it's just unfair how these kids were just ripped away from their loved ones just because they were different and nobody really understand it. I understand it's scary, but it shouldn't have happened like that. But I know it's just a story. But yeah, if it was like my kid, I'll be like run away with them because I would not give them away to a camp. But that's just me. A smart saying that Liam said, that Alexandra wrote, that Liam said in the book, that the kids are in the camps, the bad camps, or they're in the children's league, or they're running away from their lives. Like, any aspect of what these kids do are bad. Like the camps treat you horrible, and they kill you off to eat just because if you're red or orange and the most rare and most powerful. And then like in the league, they still treat you like you still kind of have a somewhat of freedom, but they still treat kids bad in a way, and they use the kids as a weapon than trying to help them or keeping them in a safer place. The kids that are just on the run will have the biggest struggle ever, and they can get caught, and it's just so bad. And thing to say in there that it just made sense of what this book was about. So as I said, the book was good, and it was like treading through all the actions of and learning more about Ruby, and learning more about Liam and where he's at and everyone. And but you learn more about Liam's brother Cole, who's in the Children's League, and who's an agent in the Children's League, and you learn more about him and everything. And then especially at the end, you I don't want to give away if you haven't read it, because there might be some people who hasn't read it and wants to know this, but you learn a big thing about Cole, Liam's brother. You think he's like an a-hole throughout the movie and just another grown-up, but oh my god, like, you need to read this book so you know what Cole and who he is. And then you learn about President Gray and what happened to him, and that, and then even his son and his mother. Like, lots of things at the end was just like falling into place. At the end, it was like, you know, a big finale of the second book. So it was a really good ending of how it ended. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I can't wait to read the next two books, and so on and so forth. And I'll do more book reviews of each of these books. Like, through the whole story, you just feel bad for these kids, or you feel for these kids, and you feel like this connection with these kids. You want these kids to survive and nothing harm come to them just because they're different. I 100% recommend this book to anyone who likes the sci-fi books like Divergent or Hunger Games. Or Hunger Games aren't really sci-fi, but like that kind of kid who's responsible for something and who have to fight to survive. And if you like those kind of books, and this one just kind of follow along. If you like sci-fi books, I totally would recommend you read this one. And if you're young and you like those young adult books, read this as well. This was really great. I give Alexandra a round of applause because this was a great book, and I can't wait to read the next one. I hope this book review makes you want to read a little bit more. It was a really good book. I don't want to give you a lot away so you can read it yourself, but it really picked up from the first one. I didn't read the first book, but from the movie and to the second book, it was great. It follows along with the story brilliantly. Overall, this is a great book to read. You should read this and continue reading all of the books because they're going to be great. I can't wait to start the next one. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like. If you like this book, go ahead and give me a like. Go down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well so you can see other book reviews that I do. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.